Welcome to this week's edition of the A2Schools podcast. I'm your host, as always, Andrew Cluley, the Director of Communications for the Ann Arbor Public Schools. This week, we're going to look ahead to the fall again. We did elementary was the level that we focused on last week. So this week, we're going to focus in on middle school and high school. So we're excited to have the look ahead to the fall. Joining with me today, as always, Superintendent Dr. Janice Swift. Thanks for joining.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
Thank you. And since we're talking about middle school, we've brought in the Executive Director of K-8 Education, Dr. Roberta Heyward.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
And we also have, not to leave out the high schoolers, Executive Director, High School Level Education, Paul DeAngelis.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay. Now, we are going to look ahead to the fall, but this being Teacher Appreciation Week, we do want to give a shout out to the teachers. And we also, a couple of days ago, was Principal Appreciation Day. So we're going to shout out to both the teachers and the principal for all the hard work that they do all year long.
You know, Andrew, it's such a great week in the district, and following such a tremendous year in public education, we are so grateful. On Sunday, we celebrated National Principal Appreciation Day. And then throughout this week, the first full week of May, we are honoring our teachers. And I don't think there's ever been a time in public education where our team has not been more challenged, and they've stepped up at every point along the way. And we are so grateful for the work of our principals and our teachers and all of our teams and the work they've done in support of students. This year and really these past 2 years has just been an extraordinary time. Thanks to our teachers.
Well, we certainly want to thank all of our teachers and principals. We're also coming up on the end of the school year. It's May, which means it's already time, if you're in the school world, to start thinking ahead to the fall and back to school times. Last week, we focused in on the elementary level. So if you have a child in the elementary level and you missed last week's podcast, go back, find that one, and listen to that, and you can find out what to expect at the elementary level. We also now, as we're already looking forward to the fall, what can we expect at the middle school level? Mrs. Heyward.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Each middle school and K-8 building works to build thriving school communities with students, staff, families, and our community partners. We have 5 middle schools servicing students in 6th through 8th grade, and 2 buildings serving students in young 5s through 8th grade. Our K-8 middle schools are exceptional in meeting the needs of all of our students, particularly our students during those middle school years.
All righty, sounds good. And I'll ask the same question to you, Mr. DeAngelis. What can families and students expect at the high school level in the fall?
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit and maybe even brag a little bit about our 5 high schools in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. And I'm going to start by speaking about our 3 comprehensive high schools, always ranked amongst the top schools in the state of Michigan. We offer to our families and to our students unbelievable academic opportunities, more opportunities in the arts and athletics and activities than just about any high school, not only in Michigan, but in the country. And we're always just excited to see our students thriving, not only in the classroom, but outside the classroom. And every year we see our students achieving just some amazing things and being recognized at the local, state, and national level. Community High School is our very unique school, developed 50-something years ago. And it is a lottery-based school, but we do encourage families, especially those who are in the middle schools now, to consider that as an option for their high school experience. And then Pathways to Success Academic Campus is truly a very, very unique learning opportunity and learning experience for students. We would encourage any families that are interested in looking at an alternative education to contact Pathways. Their information is available on their website. And if you're looking for that type of an experience, we really encourage you to check out all that's new and all that is very unique in meeting the needs of individual learners as well as the collective community over at Pathways.
So we really have some options to find the right fit for each child in the Ann Arbor Public Schools.
You know, Andrew, I was going to jump in there because last week we talked a lot about that concept of the neighborhood school. And that really is the foundation of our elementary education, is that every neighborhood, every part of the city has that neighborhood elementary school. What's exciting about this week, Dr. Heyward, Mr. DeAngelis, having you all join us, is really this discussion about secondary. I love that arc of child development and what we know about kids. Our students, as they move through that 4th and 5th grade year, they grow up a whole lot. And so what we're talking about this week is really vast array of opportunities. So if families prefer to remain in that K-8 environment, we have 2 of those options. We also have our traditional middle schools. And in all of those, students will get that strong academic program. Then the enrichment wheel, we used to call it, but it's a wide set of enrichment and exploratory opportunities. All of the schools then having athletics and intramurals. I just love students when they come out of that 5th grade. It's like school just got a whole lot bigger in terms of their options and opportunities. Then when we move from middle to high school, that 8th to 9th grade transition, what's really exciting in Ann Arbor Public Schools is students may choose any high school program. Now, community, Mr. DeAngelis has already referenced, has the lottery, but if students prefer the magnets at Skyline High School, or they'd like that kind of super comprehensive approach at Pioneer High School, or they're interested in international baccalaureate at Scarlet and Huron, we have those opportunities, and they are open and available to all students in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. So it really is a different approach at middle and high school, at secondary schools. And to me, that's really exciting because we offer the best of both, and students have lots of choices as they grow and mature in the Ann Arbor Public Schools.
All righty. And you know what? For 5th graders and 8th graders, either today or a couple days ago, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, they had a real great opportunity to find out a little bit more about the school they're going to be attending next year as we celebrated Transition Day. Dr. Heyward, can you talk about sort of what happens at the middle school that your child, if you have a 5th grader that's going to be a 6th grader next year, what they may be buzzing about? What happened at Transition Day at the middle school level?
Thank you, Andrew. Transition Day is an exciting time for our incoming 6th grade students. 5th graders across our district come to our middle schools where they are greeted with such excitement from school teams welcoming them to their fall school of placement. They have scheduled various engaging activities for students. They meet teachers, they tour the building. Some schools provide T-shirts and all kinds of gifts for students to hold on to so that they remember what school they'll be going to in the fall. They have different activities for the students, and the students are always leaving middle school on Transition Day, very excited and eager to come to middle school in the fall.
All right, that's exciting. And I guess then the 8th graders get that experience the same day. They got that chance to pop into their high school. Mr. DeAngelis, can you talk about sort of what they experienced?
Sure. A lot of what Dr. Heyward just shared is happening at the high schools as well. It's such an exciting time. I was mentioning this the other day to some of the principals about the joy I get is watching the students who have never had a sibling go to the high schools, and they get to see all of the things that are going on in a comprehensive high school or at community or at Pathways for the very first time. As Dr. Swift mentioned, there's just so many opportunities in the arts and the athletics and different activities. The size of the building it's just really, really neat to see these eighth graders, our ninth graders in the fall, come up and be able to just experience this new horizon, this new world for them, and these new opportunities. We really just in that process try to encourage kids and remind them that that ninth grade year is an opportunity to explore all of those things that you've ever wanted to explore inside the walls of a high school. And we're just so blessed to be able to offer our students so many of those opportunities. So at the end of the day, we hope those students go home and they can't stop talking to their parents about everything they saw, everything they heard, and everything that they want to do when they come back to us in August.
All right. Now, as we look forward to students coming back in August, or for some students, it's their first time coming to the Ann Arbor Public Schools, we do want to remind families what it is, the steps that they need to take to make sure that their spot is saved in the Ann Arbor Public Schools for the fall. Mr. DeAngelis, can you talk about what a family that is new to the Ann Arbor Public Schools, does not currently have a student attending the Ann Arbor Public Schools, what is the steps that they need to do to make sure that they've got their spot saved?
Well, first and foremost, I want to just emphasize that they should go to our website and click on the enrollment tab. We have done a great job of providing families, especially those new to the district, with all of the information that they would need to have in order to enroll in our schools. We always want to remind people, keep in mind that community is a lottery-based school, so the option of attending community high school is not there. But either of the three comprehensive high schools, Huron, Pioneer, or Skyline, or even Pathways High School, are open and available at this time to new families. So go to the website, click on that tab, fill out your information. If you're looking for some specific information about a school, or you want some information about the schools, we encourage you to go to the school site and email any of the counselors or any of the administrators. Let them know you're a new family. Our counselors and administrators take a lot of pride in sharing information with new families about all the things that we offer and all the ways that we can be that next place for your student.
You know, Mr. DeAngelis, I have to jump in there because when I see eighth graders considering their high school, you know, they're thinking about the colors, they're thinking about the mascot. But what is exciting to me as superintendent is that whatever choice an eighth grader and their family makes in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, they will have the finest of academics and arts, enrichment, clubs and activities, and athletics. They will have top shelf programming at any one of our campuses. So our students are able then to say, oh, I'd rather be a Skyline Eagle, or I'd rather be a Purple Pioneer, or I'd rather be a Huron Gold and Green along the river. We'll get them all in there, Mr. Cluley, don't worry. But we want children to have only good options, and our students do have those excellent options.
That's for sure. They do have excellent options, but we also need to give the option for what it is that returning families will need to do. I'm hoping, Dr. Heyward, you can help me answer what it is that a family that already is in the district but wants to make sure that they're still going to be in the district in the fall, what do they do this spring?
This is a very important question because we want to make sure that our families know exactly what they need to do so that their son or daughter can start school in August. And so families should be on the lookout for an email that they will receive from Student and County with a SNAP code. And this SNAP code will allow them access to begin the registration process for the 22-23 school year. We are also in the process of the in-district transfer window, which closes on May 31st. And so families who wish to elect to go to a school other than their neighborhood school want to go to our district's website, click on in-district transfer, and apply to the school that they would like to go to in the fall.
So it really is, Dr. Heyward, about choices. And we want to make sure that all that information is available so that our students and their families can make the best choice that matches what that student wants to achieve and where they want to go.
And that's why it's so important that families sign up now so that we know how many kids will be in each building come the fall.
Exactly. And particularly at secondary, there's so much specialized programming that we want to make sure that that class that the students really excited about, that we have enough staffing and enough sections that we're offering. And that work is work that's already in progress. So we want to make sure we're prepared for every single student.
All right. So we got a lot of exciting information about the fall 22-23 school year. And that's always good to be thinking ahead and have something to celebrate. We do like to celebrate good news on the A2School podcast as well. And I actually am going to sneak in, instead of just one item today, I'm going to bring in two items. And the first one is we're celebrating Laura Wayne, teacher at King Elementary and through the A2 Virtual Plus Academy. She was named the University Musical Society and the DTE Energy Foundation's 2021 DTE Energy Foundation Educator of the Year for her work. It's just so exciting to see our teachers. I mean, all of our teachers are being celebrated this week, but it's awesome to see their hard work being recognized.
And congratulations, Laura. That's such an esteemed honor to achieve, and we're so proud of her work and so proud of this very deserving honor.
So that's a teacher recognition, but I don't want to leave the students out because they always do amazing work as well. And so about a week and a half ago or so, we had a bunch of students that participated in the 55th Annual Academic Games National Tournament in Knoxville, Tennessee. And holy cow, they did a great job. They received 34 team and 48 individual awards. It is just quite the impressive haul. Thank you to all of the great students participating, but also all the mentors and coaches and whatnot that helped make that possible.
Yes, I'm so excited. Congratulations to academic games teams, Ann Arbor Public Schools, and special shout out to their parents and sponsors and the teachers who supported them. How impressive. It sounds like they just took the show at nationals to me.
That's right. And we had kids from King Elementary, Clegg Middle School, Huron and Pioneer and Skyline and Community. And I think there was a Y-High, AAPS Y-High student as well. So
wonderful.
It's pretty exciting to see the students do so well in the national events, the Ann Arbor Academic Games teams. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. So now we turn to the question of the week. And we're going to look ahead, not as far as the fall, but we're going to look ahead to all of those end-of-year activities, the various celebrations and whatnot. Dr. Swift, what can families expect when they attend those events this spring?
Well, we are so proud of our students and our teachers and our families. We are on that strong finish to the 21-22 school year. And you know, this time of the year, things seem to speed up as we move toward the wrapping up a strong school year. And I know that our parents are interested as we plan for those concerts and continuation ceremonies and even our high school graduations. They're only about 5 weeks out. Isn't that just amazing? So what we are planning for is fully in-person activities. And that is such a great day in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. And yet, because our activities will have lots of folks gathering, we are going to continue with our universal masking indoors. And so parents and families should expect that. Our students are very well accustomed when they're in our schools to wearing their masks. We will be sharing out an information piece so that parents and families know exactly what steps they should take as they prepare for these end-of-year activities. You know, it feels so great to be able to welcome everyone in and to have these very special celebrations for our students and our staff at the end of the school year. And you know what? Taking the steps on COVID mitigation, including masking and ventilation and outdoor activities. Those are just small details when we think about the focus of these events, which is celebrating our children and our beautiful school communities.
Well, that's certainly a good thing to be looking forward to, these end of year celebrations. That's always a good, exciting thing. And I'd like to thank our guest today.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Roberta Heyward, Executive Director of the middle school and K-8 level.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me today.
And I'd also like to thank Paul DeAngelis, the Executive Director of the high school level education.
Thank you, Andrew, for the opportunity.
I just want to chime in there and thank you both so much. I remember very clearly the excitement with which students approach planning for the next school year. You know, it seems like such a big move to the next grade. And thank you all for providing. Thank you all, and thanks to our school teams for providing excellent educational experiences and wrapping in, meeting the needs of the whole child, social, emotional, and activities and enrichment. It makes the full experience for our students so that they can grow and learn and thrive in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. So thank you, Dr. Heyward. Thank you, Mr. DeAngelis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that is this week's edition of the A2Schools podcast. As always, if you have any questions about the Ann Arbor Public Schools, don't hesitate to go to our website, A2Schools.org. We're on Facebook and our YouTube channel, both under Ann Arbor Public Schools. And of course, if you have a specific question that you'd like answered on the A2Schools podcast, please email communications@A2Schools.org. And have a great week, everyone.
Thank you.